Oh, I can hear myself now, so you must be able to hear me. Excellent. Right. You press my start button there so I can keep myself on time. Good morning. Welcome. Are you okay with the voice from here? Excellent. I have no issue if you don't want to wear those headphones, because trust me, headphones, curly hair, and a mic, and all of that other stuff, and earrings and everything, and sometimes it just doesn't go. Sometimes it's just easier. But let me know if you need me to speak a bit louder, but hopefully I'm not shouting, because that's rude. So I'm Vic O'Farrell. I am the Queen of Behaviours. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever given an instruction to someone, asked somebody to do something for you, and it appears that they do something completely different? Like you said it and asked it in a foreign language? Yeah? Well, in these next 40 minutes, I'm going to show you why that happens and give you hopefully some top tips and tricks so that that doesn't happen in the future. Does that sound good? Excellent. Right. Now, I'm going to start off with, and I always say that it starts with you, because I can't impact any of your behaviours unless I look in the mirror and really understand my own behaviour. And trust me, I've learnt an awful lot in the last 10 years running this business about how I've impacted people. Because I've been back to some of the people I've worked with, and I've asked them, what was it like to work with me? And the people who were very similar to me said that I was energising and I was energetic, and they loved it when I came in the office. But the people who were opposite to me said that I was exhausting, I was irritating, I was quite rude, and I was quite showy. So I kind of took a little bit like, oh, I didn't want to be like that, because we naturally go along life just assuming that everyone is like us. Let's go back to when we were at school, shall we? You made friends with people who were similar to you. You may have had similar interests, or you liked the same things, or you found that you had the same kind of energy as each other. And naturally, that's who we were with. And whilst we don't like to label people, and what I'm going to share with you isn't about labelling people, isn't about putting people in boxes. At school, we kind of did label people. We might have called people the clever ones. Maybe even used that word boffin, maybe. We might have had the bullies. We might have had the clowns. We might have had the quiet ones. So as children, we naturally label people. But adults, what we want to do is understand why they're different, and understand how we can communicate with people more effectively. Now, one thing I don't profess to do, so are you all PAs or VAs here? The one thing I do not profess is to understand your daily challenges with doing your job. Other than the fact that I know it's flipping hard and challenging, because I've asked the PAs that I know, and I've asked the VAs. In fact, I've had a conversation with a few of the people that have been here today, and I've said, what's your biggest challenge? And they said, managing time, your own and the own of the person that you're working for, yeah, and managing communication. So I thought, let's look at who you've got to communicate with. So you've got the boss. Now, they're not always the CEO, they're not always the director, but you've got the boss who you work for. And then you've got the stakeholders, yeah, who all want to get time with the boss. And then you've also got colleagues, yeah, who also want to get time in with the boss. And then on top of that, you've got customers who also want to get in and get time with the boss. So you're, what I would like to say, is the glue. You are the glue that holds all of this together. And you've got to understand how important your role is. Because again, some of the PAs I know really kind of go, yeah, well, I'm just a PA. No, you're not just a PA. You are the glue that holds the organisation together. You know everyone, yeah, by name. You know the stakeholders, you know the colleagues, you know the clients, you know the boss. And you've got to manage all of this. So I'm going to take you through kind of a real high-level understanding of different personalities, because as a person, as a human, let's think of us as an onion. Yeah? And we've got all of those different layers of an onion that make us who we are. And I like to say at the core of this onion is the personalities. Let's start with that, and then we can put the other layers on. And in some of the workshops and masterclasses and coaching I do, I help add all of these layers and make that big Spanish onion. But we're going to look here today at this core layer. So if I had a show of hands, first of all, if I asked you to say whether you were outgoing or reserved. So could I have a show of hands here? If you would say to yourself, are you outgoing? Yeah. Okay. Not as many. There's the outgoing ones looking around going, am I really? Am I the only outgoing one in here? Ladies that have just walked in, would you class yourself as someone who was outgoing or reserved? Well, and you know how I could tell that? Because you've walked in with an outgoing attitude. I'm here. And also, you've sat in the blooming front row, which I love. Because why is it at these places people don't sit in the front row? They go, oh my God, the speaker's going to pick on me. This isn't the comedy show. Yeah. I don't have the expertise for that. I like to think I'm funny, but some people don't. Anyway, so outgoing people. Again, show of hands for your outgoing people here. Carly, you're outgoing. Don't hide at the back. Hiding at the back. Okay, so the others of you that are reserved, yeah? Show of hands for those of you who would say that you are more reserved. And again, I can just see by your body language. Because if you're outgoing, your hand went up, straight up, didn't need to think about it. Yeah, punching the ceiling, not quite, because it's a bit high in here. But that's the outgoing. It's the body language straight away. And reserved, you gave me a show of your hand. Don't need to make a song and dance about it. No big fuss. Just ask me to show a hand if I'm reserved. And that's fine, because there's no right or wrong with this. There's no, this is a better personality than this personality. It's all about recognizing, understanding, and respecting that we're different. So I'm going to ask you another question now. Would you say that you were people-focused or task-focused? Now, let me give you a little bit of context in that. If you're people-focused, you get to the end of the day and you reflect on the people interactions that you've had. Maybe the phone calls, the face-to-face meetings, the Zoom meetings, a random conversation you might have had with someone here at the PA show. You reflect on the people interactions that you've had. Or you get to the end of the day and you think about all of the tasks that you've done, the things that you've ticked off of a to-do list, the books that you've written, the Excel spreadsheet that's been completed, the travel that you've booked for your boss, the tasks that you've completed. So let me have a show of hands now. If you say that you are, and some of you are probably going, oh, wow, Vic, that depends. And I get that, because it'll depend on who you're with and where you are. Yeah? Your environment has a huge impact on how you are. But for this exercise for today, so that we can get an understanding, and again, it's not right or wrong. I'm not going to get anybody to do anything. There's no, one circuit for you to run around in. So people focus, please give me a show of hands. Okay? And task focused, a show of hands. Okay, so we have got a nice split in the room. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you understand what this means, because there's 4 dominant quarters of a personality and we are a blend of all of them. So if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, well, it depends, sometimes I'm people, sometimes I'm task, then you'll be on both of those camps. Not a problem. We're a blend of all personalities. But for today, I'm going to give you some real understandings of the 4 differences, so that when you're working with the boss, the stakeholders, the colleague, and the clients, you can then straight away think to yourself, okay, I've got this style. So you can flex and adapt your style. Because trust me, the boss doesn't so much. The stakeholders definitely. The colleagues, well, unless they've been through one of my training programs, probably have no idea. Yeah. And the clients, they just want to speak to the boss. Okay, so it's up to you to do that flex and adapt. And you are the best chameleons in the organisation. Like I say, you are the glue that holds all of this together. So we're going to start with outgoing. And we're going to start with the task focused. So outgoing and task focused. They're the kind of people that start with and lead with what I call red energy. They might also be known, depending on there's loads of types of assessment tools that you can use. If I use the DISC system, because that's very easy for people to remember in this kind of situation, it would be the D, the dominant style. But they're the red energy. They're demanding. They say it how it is. They walk straight into the room. They pick the phone up. They haven't even asked you how you are. Yeah? They've literally picked the phone up and they've said, yeah, Janice, I need you now. Well, okay. Let's, dare I say, a kind of Miranda Priestley of Devil Wears Prada. She is an epitome of just red, no other style, and she's a character, so we can use her. So they are the people that want everything now. I've even seen Reds in meetings do this to move a meeting along or click a finger. Now, to me, that kind of hand gesture and the clicky finger is quite rude. Would you agree? Yeah? Have you ever had anybody do that? Yeah, I'm still getting some nods of heads. What do you think of people that do that? Yeah, we don't want bosses like that, do we? Okay, if our boss is like that, we might think, okay, this is an off day for them. They've got lots going on today. But if a stakeholder's like that, what do you do with them? If they're demanding time in your boss's diary, where in the pile do they go? They probably go, yes. They want to be at the top of the pile, don't they? But you've probably started putting them at the bottom because their whole personality is not working with yours. And you also know it's not going to work with your bosses. Okay? So leading with red energy, or in the DISC terms, I say D, dominant. This is another thing. Curly hair and caps. I'll look a bit flat when I have proper cat hair. It's all right. My brother's at the back there. I'll get some hair gel from him. So we're going to stay outgoing. I'm going to throw my caps around. We're going to stay outgoing, but now we're going to come people-focused. Okay, so still outgoing style. Yellow energy, people, sunshine yellow, and in DISC terms, I influence. These are the people that are still outgoing, so they still maybe pick the phone up and start talking to you without understanding if you've got time to talk, but they'll ask you about how you are. They'll be like, hi George, hi Joe, sorry, how are you? Did you have a nice weekend? They ask you about how you are. Isn't it lovely weather today? Yeah. Oh my God, honestly, I've got in the office today that I know I've got to go in that meeting, but Jesus, the journey. You should have seen the people on the tube this morning. Honestly, rude. They've got to tell a story. Yeah, but they'll be very outgoing with it. So what you need to understand is actually time is precious, isn't it? Time is precious, so we might need to get these people to the point a little bit quicker than they would get to the point. Yeah? So if we are saying, I'm trying to look at people where I can see name badges, like you see there, Nicolette. So it might be that you'd move them along by going, that's really lovely, but if the meeting has started, you need to go in now. Yeah? And you need to move people on, otherwise they will want to talk to you about the weather, the journey, the everything but the work. I'm using extremes here because, like I say, we're a blend. You might be thinking, well, I've got a boss who's very outgoing, but they wear both hats. Yeah, depending on the day. Monday they're very red, but Friday they've gone very yellow. So in the middle of the week, they've turned orange. But you know that because you're the PA. You know that because you're great at your job. Now, that's the outgoing side of things. Let's look at reserved, because some of you in here, probably more than 50%, said that you were more reserved. So I'll stay with the people. So we went to the yellow, the I. So I'll stay with the people side of things. And we turn into the green energy. So people focused but reserved. And in DISC terms, if you use that profiling tool, S, steadiness, green energy. A slower, calmer pace. And that's actually very good when you're a PA, because everything around you is at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You now need to, let's hold the brakes and let's do this so that everybody can breathe. Because sometimes this high energy forgets to breathe because it's so excitable and so demanding and so peoply. You think, I just need you to breathe. Let me have some green energy. Let me breathe. Let me slow it down. And the other thing with green energy is it takes everyone else into consideration. So if you've got colleagues that are green, yeah, they're going to understand that your boss is busy. When they say they need time in the diary and you say, I can't actually get anything for another week or so, They're the type of energy that say, that's fine, can we put something in for next week? As opposed to the red energy where it's like, find time now. Can you relate to people that you work with? You're all nodding. You probably got people in your own personal life, maybe in your family. You're thinking, oh, now I understand. So I love a bit of green energy, but these are also the chameleons, because you do tend to find that they mould in, because they make great diplomats. They see things from other people's viewpoint. They're reserved, they're people-focused. They're the eyes and the ears looking out for everyone. Yeah. What you've got to be careful of is if you are a PA to multiple bosses, if you've got the green energy as a boss and you're trying to organise something in the diary and they say, or they're trying to get you to do a task for them, and they may turn around and say, it's absolutely fine, we can do it next week. I know how busy you are, we'll do it next week. And you'll be like, oh, thank God for that. Right, okay, I can do that next week, that's amazing. And then you come off the phone and then you go, oh God, I feel really guilty now because I put them off to last month. Yeah, green energy will always be the ones that say that. So make sure you say, that's absolutely fine, but I'll make sure it's Monday next week. Yeah, we're going to do it Monday next week. So still give them that priority, but give them the reassurance that, thank you, they've understood how busy you are. Probably out of all of the different energies, the only ones that will ever understand how busy you are. So now we're going to stay on the reserved side and we're going to go over to task. So we're going to go under this demanding red up here, yes, now, tomorrow, no, today, yesterday. We're going to stay with the blue energy, or in DISC terms, if you use that profiling tool, C, conscientious. And they're reserved. And they're task focused. So they just want to do the job. And they want to get on with it, and they've come to the meeting, and the meeting starts at 9 o'clock, and they've turned up at 1 minute to 9, walked in, and sat down, ready to start. They've not asked you how you are. They've not asked you, say you've got a pet that's ill. They've not even remembered it. Yeah, they've just sat down, and you've probably thought, oh, cold. Yeah, cold and blue is not. It's just how they are. They don't need the chit-chat. They just want to get on and do the job. So they're the type of people, again, that if you are leading with blue energy, it's not right or wrong, but you'd probably think, okay, I'm going to leave this session at the end. I don't need to come and speak to Vic afterwards. But what I'll probably do is find one of these connections and I'll send her an email. Because that's how we've got to now think about how do all of that. You've got to manage all of these. Yeah, and understand your own style. How do you wear all of these hats? Because it's really difficult, isn't it? How do I know when someone's blue? How do I know when they're green? How do I know when they're yellow? How do I know when they're red? I really have got flat hair now after this, haven't I? But you have to. You've got to be able to know how to put all of these on. How do these all communicate? Well, first of all, we've got outgoing, haven't we? Red and yellow. Outgoing, people and task, and you've got reserved, leading with blue and green energy. So how do the outgoing people communicate, and how do the reserved people communicate? Well, I'd like to say that these people externally think. Their thoughts come out verbally. And these people internalize their thought process. So now think about the people that you're working with, whether it is the boss, the stakeholders, the colleagues, or the clients. Now think to yourself, oh, I know exactly where their energy's coming from because they've asked me a question, and before I've even thought about answering it, they've reframed it and verbally vomited it at me again. Do you have those people? I can see some laughs and some noddies. And you just think, well, hold on a minute, I'm thinking about the answer. You've just reframed it and verbally vomited it at me again. And trust me, how many times will they reframe and verbally vomit it at you before you actually just don't think about the answer at all? Because we do get to that stage, don't we? Where we think, hold on a minute, you've asked me a question, I want to answer it. And these people will ask a question, and they'll be expecting when you answer it to be a quality thought through answer. Now, that's not to say that these two styles don't give quality, thoughtful answers. It's just that they'll be answering it and questioning themselves as they're answering it. So let's give an example of that. What's a typical kind of question that you get? Is it about appointments? That's what a lot of people have said. It's about diary time, managing diary time. Yeah? So let's go. These people want an appointment in the diary. Yeah. Now, the first thing you're going to have to do is actually get the diary on your screen. You've probably already got it open, but you might not have been working on it that second. Because funny enough, I'm not sitting here waiting for the phone to ring so that you can phone up and put an appointment in the diary. No, I'm busy doing everything else that I do, running the world, because you do. But these people will phone up and say, right, I need an appointment with, I'm going to pick on Anthony because he's standing at the back. I need an appointment with Anthony. Right, okay, next week, Monday, 10:30. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Can we have a look at that? Right, next week. Okay, the best days next week. No, I'm telling you my time. No. You have to manage people's expectations, don't you? You have to say when there's availability in the diary. You are the gatekeeper. You are the holder of all of that. You are the one that brings calm and serenity to the world of your bosses. Because yes, you've got the stakeholders and the colleagues and the clients, but it's the boss that you're looking after. And they're the ones that you think, right, okay, hold on a minute. And be the ones that say, don't lead with the red energy and tell them to do one. Unless they're very red, probably could talk to them in their own red language. They won't be offended. They've got very thick skin. Brush it off, not really interested in. Yellows, they'll have a fear of rejection. So if you tell them, no, oh God, what have I done? I've upset people. Please. You know, it's a bit like me standing here as a speaker, only one person turning up and go, please, turn up to my party. The greens, so you're reserved, people-focused, yeah, a fear of change. So be careful if you've got to change meetings. If they're leading with green energy, don't just tell them, give them the reason why you're changing it as well. And they'll understand that. And the blue energy, that's criticism without validation. So they'd be fine if you're changing a meeting, but if it's a meeting they've set up and you need to change it for everyone else's diary, they'll be a bit upset that they got it wrong in the first place. So again, give some validation. So different energies. Can you already think about the people that you've got with different energies? Yeah? What's your biggest challenge other than the diary time? Give me some right now, live in the room. What's your biggest challenge, would you say, Rosemary? Oh, God, your time to do all of the work. Okay. Too much work. Who feels that they do just get overload? Absolutely. And is that because everybody is demanding your time, not just the boss, but the stakeholders and the colleagues and the clients? Yeah, and nobody actually understands your time and the value that you've got. Do you block your diaries out? You don't get time. Can I suggest you make time? Yeah? We naturally have to go to the bathroom facilities. You also have to take a break. Yeah? I mean, gone are the days when I started work, you know, or whatever that was, 30, 40 years ago, where you had a lunch hour. And you sat in a staff room, and you took a whole hour, and dare you go back to your desk beforehand. We don't get that now, do we? It's on the hoof, it's trying to, walk, eat, phone, talk, get the thing, get the this. You cannot pour from an empty cup. It's a classic cliche, but you can't. You need to make sure that you take a break, and you put time in your diary to take a break. And when the boss, be it red, says, no, I need you now, you're absolutely fine, but I'm going to put that break somewhere else. Make sure that the break is somewhere in your day to recharge your battery, especially if you lead with reserved energy. Because that's the other. Let's talk introvert, extrovert. We all heard those terms, introvert and extrovert. So extroverts, which is your yellow and your red energy, they get energy from being with other people. They want to be with other people. Actually, it's energizing for them. It charges their battery. But if you're more reserved, if you're leading on the reserved side of things, too much people interaction, too much energy, and that's going to drain your battery. Would you say that you lead with a more reserved energy? And do you find it draining at the end of the day that you think, why am I doing this? Yeah. That's because you need to have some time in your diary to plug yourself in, yeah, and recharge. This energy, not so much, yeah. I mean, I can come away from I am probably a bit extreme on this side of things, which is probably why my colleagues that I used to work with said that I was irritating and annoying and exhausting, unless they were yellow and they thought I was amazing and fun and sunshine. But I've now learned that that's not how to do it, even as a speaker. Yeah, you don't stand here on the stage being all yellow energy, because I scare the bejesus out of people. I did a whole speech once to engineers. Anyone in the engineering industry, PAs for? Engineers, very blue energy. Very blue energy. So far more reserved. Even my body language was more reserved. I wouldn't walk around the stage, and in fact, I'd probably slow my voice down and look more consistently at everybody. So you've got to think, what energy do I lead with, and how can I flex and adapt? So if we look at the different colours, I'm going to go, and hopefully you can see those, like that. So they're all different, and you'll probably be a blend. Yep, so you might be a little bit blue-red, you might be a little bit blue-green, you might be people you're very much reserved. But when I've got opposites, when I've got a really outgoing, task-focused here, and I am leading with green energy, I'm reserved and people-focused, there's going to be a potential clash, potential conflict here. Yeah, and it generally comes about pace and consistency, because they want everything yesterday and you want everything tomorrow. So how can we make sure that everything is today? What can we do there? And these ones, if you lead with very yellow energy, or your bosses and you're very blue energy, it'll be about detail, rules and regulations, and adhering to the rules. This is all about fun. This is all about getting it done. So actually, how can we get it done with a little bit of fun? Yeah, let's dial down all the fun, but let's get it done, but with a little bit of fun. And it's finding somewhere to meet in the middle. Because personalities are never about, you're chameleons, you'll be great at doing all of this, but it's never, ever about one personality becoming the other, or the other changing to you. It's that meeting in halfway, isn't it? It's the boundaries that you need to set. Now, a PA that I do a lot of work with, a lot of the organisation, we did this thing and we were talking about actually meetings go over. I've got an hour in the diary and suddenly there's like an extra 2 minutes, and then they're rushing from one to here and they're coming back to me and they're saying, I have got my 8 hours in my diary and I haven't got time to go to the bathroom. A little bit like you, probably. So you think, actually, we worked out, what could we do? And so we changed some of their meeting rooms to standing rooms only. Yep, tall tables with stools. Meetings went much quicker. They were only allowed for certain meetings, catch-up meetings, meetings that only you thought probably only going to take half an hour. And then there was the other meetings, actually their appraisals. They went to 45 minutes. Now, we naturally make an hour's appointment, don't we, in a diary? Why, do we? Do we have a hand up? No? What do you do? $15 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so you cut that hour. Do you cut that hour? Okay, you all cut that hour. I love this. You all cut that. You're all amazing. What are you doing here? No. Because you found time in your diary to come here. Do some personal development. That is amazing. Now, as you go out here and you think to yourself, I'm going to go and speak to some of these people on the exhibition stands. You might go over to the Convex stand as well, in the exhibitions around there. I want you to start thinking. You're probably thinking already about your boss, your stakeholders, your colleagues and your clients. Think about the people as you walk to these stands. Can you decide whether they're red energy? Because you walk past the stand and the first thing they've done is they've put the hand out, haven't they? Morning. How can I help you? Yeah, come on. Straight in your face. You're like, whoa, okay. Then you've got the yellows. The yellows on the stand, they don't want to come at you straight away, but they'll come out with a big body language smile. Morning! Yeah, they're hanging off the stand. The higher the energy, the more that shows up. Come on, in you come. Or they'll have those gimmicks on, sorry, not gimmicks if any of you've got something on your stand to do an activity with. Be careful here, Victoria. But they do, they come out and they're swinging off the stand, wanting you to come on, and they want to talk to you. And you're thinking, I don't need your services. Just politely say, thank you, but not today. Don't say I'll come back, because the yellow energies, trust me, they'll come and find you. They'll come and find you in that coffee queue. So you haven't come back yet. When are you coming back? The green energies on the stand, they're people focused. So their body language will be more reserved. They might have their hands behind their back, or they might have their hands in front of you, but they'll make eye contact with you and they'll smile. And actually, a green energy on a stand is great when you've actually managed to get the yellow energies to get them all on. The green energies are ones that will be the calmer and you can talk to. Yeah, but they're not going to bombard you with everything. So if you want their services and they're green and you're leading with a different colour energy, go on. Morning. Yeah, and they'll talk to you. And the blue energy, reserved, task focused, they're standing on the stand like this. Please don't anybody actually talk to me. Oh God, somebody wants to talk to me. That was a bit disrespectful to the blues, but they're not all on their phones, because sometimes it's just the younger lot that are on their phones. But just understand the different energies. The body language will give you straight away, are you outgoing or reserved? Outgoing body language, it talks. We are outgoing. We have that body language. Reserved people, we don't need to do that. We don't need to make a fuss. We'll hold our hands behind our back. Hold our hands in the front. Task focused, they'll get to the point. People focused, they're going to ask about what's going on. What was the journey like here? But trust me, you'll know if they've been trained on that stand as well. Because walk past it and then go back and go, what are they saying to the next person? Oh, they said the same thing. They had some training before they came. Or they're just making it up as they go along. But that's great. So who's here to go out and see some other stuff on the stands? Yeah, who's actually here? Who's actually scared about going on the stands because you think the stand I want to go on is all yellow energy and it's really intimidating? Do you ever get that where you think I want to go on that stand but it's really intimidating? It's okay. Find a little gap on the stand and go round the back, and find the person that's on the stand that's with the quieter body language and go and talk to them, because they will have them. A good stand will have a blend of all the energies. And a good stand will understand your energy as you're walking up to it. Okay. Now I've got about 5 more minutes left. We go for time. I've got 5 more minutes left. So I wanted to open it up to see if we had any questions from anybody that I could answer here. Questions? Yes. Oh, good question. How do you get the gap to speak when the meeting is full of red and yellow and you're a green or a blue? Put your hand up. Yeah, because a red and yellow will just constantly speak and speak and speak. And you're thinking, where's my gap? So put your hand up, but not put your hand up as a green reserved. Put your hand up. I have a point. Please, I have a point. Because the one good thing is greens and blues, you're very polite. You need permission to talk. Yeah, so you're waiting for that gap. Put your hand up and be a bit forceful. Find your own fiery red and yellow. And if you are red and yellow in a meeting, be aware of the greens and the blues and just say, this is all great. Sorry, what was your name, sorry? Evie. Just go, yeah, this is great. Evie, sorry, would you like to contribute? And be aware, because it's all about self-awareness. That was a great question, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
I've found in my last 2 jobs that we've been interviewed as a group and then we've been set with a manager. We haven't had that one-to-one interview prior. How do you manipulate yourself to, I couldn't work with a red person, but I have to now because I've been moved around. How do I do
Okay, so how do I find, with a group interview, I've now just been given a new manager and I've got an energy that doesn't work for me. Yeah. And to be fair, that's not that good on that organisation. They need to understand it. Come and find me. I'll speak to my brother and I'll put a phone call in and I'll come and do some workshops. What it is, it's about understanding. It's about having a conversation. So before you work with people, you need to have a conversation. Can I just let you know what energy I lead with, my personality studies, how I like to work? Because some people, very red, absolutely no self-awareness. And they've no idea that if you're green, it's too demanding. They need to slow it down. Like I said, when I came in here, before I started running this business and really understanding behaviours 10 years ago, I was so extreme yellow, excuse my language, I pissed off half the people I work with because I had no self-awareness. And it's only now when people tell me that, I'm like, okay. And now I know. When I'm working with people who don't lead with yellow energy, I dial it down. And I can. We can all wear every cap. It's just it doesn't come naturally and we have to work at it. So understand what you lead with, but talk to them. Tell them what it's like. Because you can work with them as long as they understand what your energy is. Does that help? Any other questions? So literally got 2 minutes on the clock there. Any other questions? No? Okay. Like I say, I'm Vic O'Farrell. I deal with people however they want to be dealt with, even on communication terms. Outgoing people, I'll pick the phone up to. Reserved people, I'll probably email, WhatsApp, text message. That's how they like to communicate. They don't want to have to give an immediate answer. So you can find me and I will communicate with you how you want to be communicated with, because I am a big chameleon. But you are the PAs, you are the glue that holds the boss, the stakeholder, the colleagues and the clients. Please will you give yourselves a massive round of applause. You do an amazing job. Thank you.